Dude, your playlist today was fire, by the way. I wanted to
Are you recording or you're not recording right now?
I am. No, I am. Yeah,
all right, we're going to show this to my trainers at the gym. Yeah. So I didn't do that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Things have changed since then.
Things have changed, yeah. And her and her friends actually call me OMB, Old Man Booth. And it's the first time in my life where I've ever been called old. Hey. Like, it's just funny how that works, right? I'm like, just because my face was on a TV screen.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Redirected. I am your host, Andrew East, and this is a show where we sit down and talk with people about how they made it through some of life's biggest unexpected events. Today might be my wife's favorite episode. We sit down and talk with Shawn Booth, who was on season 11 of The Bachelorette, and we talk with Shawn about how he got to be on the show and what he's up to now. If you guys haven't yet, I would love it if you subscribe to the show and gave it a rating. It really helps us out. And our goal here is to help other people through whatever unexpected events that they might be going through in life and hopefully have a couple laughs along the way. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this one with Shawn Booth.
No turning back now.
Jeez, dude, this is a real deal, dude. Yeah, appreciate you making this happen, man.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Don't get too nervous, okay? I know.
Yeah, you're scared. You're an intimidating guy.
If my arms are shaking still, it's because I went to Shawn's gym, and I got crushed, dude.
Yeah. It's funny because the best part about the gym is that there's people like yourself, professional athletes that come in there, and then you could be training next to, somebody who just started training last week. And it's kind of the same experience for everybody. They get their ass kicked.
Yeah. My least favorite thing we did was the medicine ball hill sprint. So, if you guys are in Nashville and want to check out a good workout, go to Boothcamp. But
that's like our signature thing. Like, you can't leave there unless you run up that hill with a med ball. And I saw you. I was watching you to make sure that you grabbed the heavy ball, and you did. You grabbed the heaviest one there.
Okay.
So
I'm glad I passed it.
I wouldn't have let you out that garage door if you didn't grab that ball.
At the end of the run, you tried to throw me the football, and at that point, I was like, Shawn, I don't want any part of this. So I barely reached my hand out and didn't even really try. And
that's what we do with everybody too, because me and Jordan, it's like a playground for us in there, right? We got basketballs, soccer balls, footballs. So like people are running up the hill, we're always just tossing that ball. We're like, all right, who are we gonna get? We're like, I know who we're gonna go for right now.
I didn't. You had
a ball in one hand, like a hat in the other hand.
Oh gosh, just trying to. I was in survival mode.
Yeah.
I do have to tell you, Shawn wanted me to do this interview really well. She said, I want you to be friends with Shawn. He's a really nice guy. She's never met you before today, but she was like, I feel like you guys would be friends. So
I like it.
Hopefully at the end of the day, that ends up being the case.
Yeah, I've been following you guys on social media this past year, and I'm like, those two are actually #couple goals, which I never say, because it seems like you guys are actually really genuinely good people who are madly in love, and it's like you can just kind of see that sitting back, which is cool. And it's always tough to kind of get somebody's character through social media, and everybody kind of puts out this false image of themselves or their relationships. But I think looking at you two, it's like the real deal, which is very cool.
Don't get me wrong, Shawn. We hate each other.
Yeah, I bet you do. Yeah.
You know how it is. She was heartbroken that you didn't bring your dog.
I know. I wish I could have. He's an old man right now. So he's going to be 12 in December.
Oh, man.
And at one point in his life, he decided that he doesn't want anything to do with other dogs.
Okay.
He just doesn't. Like, he used to play with dogs all the time. He used to take them to the dog park every day. He got in a couple dog fights, and I don't know what happened, but about 4 or 5 years ago, he's just he doesn't want to play with dogs. He growls at them when they walk by now. It's just like a switch flipped. So he just loves people, and he's just like an old grumpy man right now.
That's great, dude.
Yeah.
What a good way to live.
It is. He's very spoiled. So yeah.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Connecticut.
Okay, what part?
Just north of Hartford. And it's a small town called Windsor Locks. Grew up there, lived there my whole life. Then I went up to New Hampshire for college, and I played soccer up there, which was cool at a school called Keene State. Have you been up to New Hampshire?
No, I haven't. I've heard such good things.
Oh, it's the best.
You like it?
Love it.
Better than Connecticut?
I I can't say that because that's my hometown, my home state, but it's a close second just because I love New England in general. I love the people. I love the weather. Like, I like all 4 seasons. So, like, when it's winter for a couple months, I love the snow. That makes the summer that much better, the spring that much better, and the fall. Like, there's nothing like the fall in New England. It's just like the foliage is beautiful. It's like football season, Dunkin' Donuts. It's like just the nostalgia of being in New England for the fall.
Yeah. I like how you use the word foliage. I hadn't heard that word in a while.
Yeah. Very proper foliage. Yeah. Dude, I'm so intelligent.
I actually, though, honestly, I tell people, we were just in Portugal and people were like, oh, where should I go if I'm going to go to the United States for the first time? I'm like, go to the East Coast in the fall.
Yes.
Because it is gorgeous when the leaves are changing. So that's a thing.
New Hampshire.
Did you say you like the Patriots?
No, I actually grew up a Cowboys fan.
Good. Well, that's actually worse.
I was going to say, yeah.
That's actually worse.
Probably worse for you. Yeah. I wish I was a Patriots fan. I had every opportunity to be a Patriots fan. My dad, all my family, huge Pats fans. Yeah. They gave me a Drew Bledsoe jersey when I was younger. Like, they're trying to force me to be a Patriots fan. And my godmother lived in Austin, Texas, and she was sending me Troy Aikman jerseys. And that was in the 90s.
Right.
Cowboys. I'm like, I love the Cowboys. But I wish I had been a Patriots fan because life would have been a lot better these past 20 years.
Gosh, dude. Jesus. Do you watch a lot of football?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah?
I like it. Yeah, it's probably the one sport that I would watch the most on TV, I think. I don't watch a lot of TV, but once a week, sitting on the couch, Sunday, it's fun.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, backing up a little bit. So you grew up in Connecticut.
Grew up in Connecticut.
Siblings?
2 older sisters.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
The baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shawn and I are about to have a kid. I would love to have an oldest girl because I feel like like no matter what, if it's a boy or girl that comes after, the oldest girl is going to be a boss, and then like if you have a boy after, it's going to be a well-mannered boy. I think you're
Yeah, I've always said
that.
When I want kids, I'm like, I want girls.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just I've always like thought having a little girl would be the cutest thing, right?
I know, yeah.
A girl that looks like her mother. But yeah, that's I had 2 older sisters, and we all turned out pretty decent, thankfully, and super close with them. But it's kind of different, like seeing people who grew up with older brothers versus older sisters, right?
Yeah.
You can kind of tell. What about you?
I'm the middle of 5. I had 2 older brothers, and so
Okay.
I'm just glad to be here alive.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's. I had one of my best friends growing up. He had 2 brothers too. It was like a completely different vibe in their household. Like they're like beating the crap out of each other, like wrestling, like running around the backyard, hitting each other with wiffle ball bats. And then over at my house, my sisters are like trying to make me dress up and be like Backstreet Boys or New Kids on the Block doing a concert in the living room. Completely different.
Dude, have you heard Backstreet Boys' new album?
No, but I heard a song on the radio a couple weeks ago.
It's good, dude. Check it out.
Not bad.
Man.
Still got it.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
They still got it.
Still going strong.
Oh, man. Okay, so going into college, you're playing soccer.
Yeah.
Obviously, that consumes a lot of time.
Yeah.
You played all 4 years at the University of New Hampshire.
Yeah. So growing up, that was my thing, like sports. That's like all I wanted to do, running around the front yard with my neighbors, basketball, baseball, soccer, football, whatever I could play. And then I grew liking to soccer the most out of all the sports and continued to play basketball, baseball, and golf throughout college or high school. And then I was like, all right, I'm going to play soccer in college. So that's what I focused on. And then actually broke my ankle my senior year of high school, my first scrimmage, like 10 minutes in. Like I just worked my ass off. I was like, my senior year's coming up. It's going to be a big year. And then broke my ankle, tore every ligament in the ankle, so completely lost my senior season of soccer, half of my basketball season.
Dang.
So then I ended up going to Keene State in New Hampshire, and I redshirted my freshman year, and then played my sophomore year, and then played all 4 years. So
You redshirted?
Yeah.
I didn't know that was Vandy doesn't. I went to Vandy. They don't have a soccer team.
They don't?
A men's soccer team. No.
Oh, yeah, I know they have a women's.
Yeah, and they're good, but it's always weird to me. So I didn't know that.
Took the year off, and then I was eligible that last year to play. So
that's great. What'd you study?
So it's called safety studies.
Okay.
Like
That's an athlete major.
Yeah. It was like the coach being like, hey, you should take this major. It's super easy.
Yeah.
All the guys are going to be in the class. You'll be eligible because it's a piece of cake. And it was actually like a really good major because there's only like 18 schools in the country that offer it. And Keene State was like the oldest. And so coming out of school, I got a job for an insurance company as like a loss control consultant. It's like risk management.
Huh.
So like it was a sweet gig, got to work from home, and I would go out to commercial properties that my company insured or was looking to insure to make sure that everything was quote unquote safe or a good risk for them to insure.
That's what safety studies is.
So
is
yeah, like
risk
OSHA,
analysis.
right? Like the
Yeah.
occupational safety and health, like those guys who go out to construction sites, or what else is there? A few different other career paths that you can go, but it was very like niche market, right? Like it was always told to us too that you'll get a good job out of school. It's a high demand, not a lot of people, which they were right.
Yeah,
and
I've
coming
never
out
heard
of
of it.
college in like 2008, 2009, when it was tough to get jobs, we all landed some pretty sweet gigs.
That's great.
Yeah.
This is a little bit of a tangent, but OSHA, I don't know if you've seen these YouTube videos of the guys like climbing these 1,000-foot towers at the top to like adjust whatever the cell phone tower is.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's all they need is like a carabiner to hook them in, and it's OSHA approved.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa.
That's crazy.
How,
It's
what kind of
nuts.
standards are we setting here? These
Yeah.
people are insane. I get sweaty palms, the whole thing.
That was like the best part of that major too, was like seeing all the photos and the videos of the people who weren't like hooking up to anything, or like all these people on these construction sites, just like
gory.
Like yeah, it was pretty
Oh,
gory.
you're kind of into that stuff.
A little bit.
It kind of sounds like
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I love the gory stuff. Not the actual gory part, but the leading up to it. It's pretty like intriguing. Like that dude was standing on 6 stories up, like just hanging there. Like it's
Yeah.
just wild. Or they take forklifts, and then they'll use their forklift to lift another forklift.
Probably not a good idea.
Not a good idea.
Yeah,
Never
yeah.
turns out well.
Yeah. Probably not a good idea. How long did you do the insurance thing for?
I did that for a few years, and so after college, I did that. I went to Michigan to work for an insurance company, then to Wisconsin, back to Connecticut, and then I moved down to Nashville.
Wow.
Yeah.
There was a pretty big pivot moment in your life by doing a TV show, right?
Yes, I was on a TV show.
So where does that fall in the progression of things?
So that
And how did that
falls-
happen?
Yeah, so I ended up moving down to Nashville because I was at a point in my life where I was like, all right, I want to do something more. I want to travel a little bit. Kind of stuck in a rut in Connecticut, and I think I was probably 25, 26. And so I took a trip with 2 of my buddies, a little guys trip for a weekend. So we're like, let's go to Nashville. We liked country music. Thought it'd be a cool spot to travel to. And we were here for the weekend. I just fell in love with the place. I got on the plane. I was like, I'm moving down to Nashville. I don't care. So I went back to Connecticut, put my house up on the market.
Wow.
And then looked for a new job. And then I moved down here without knowing anybody. And so I was here for a year or 2. And then, ended up going out downtown Broadway with a couple of my buddies and went into a honky tonk that was jam packed with girls. It was like a Tuesday or Wednesday night, and we're like, "Oh, this is a pretty cool spot. We'll stay here for a couple drinks." And then come to find out they were doing casting for The Bachelor there. And then one of the casting producers came up to me and asked if I wanted to sit down and interview for The Bachelorette. And I was like, I don't know about that. It was like 12:30, had a few drinks, wasn't too sure about that show. Probably not a good idea. And she knew my buddy who I was with. So long story short, like 7 months later, she'd gotten my information through him. And then she called me and was like, hey, we're coming to Nashville next week. Would love to meet with you. Come meet us at this hotel. Like, we'll do an interview. And I was like, all right, let's do it.
Oh, they were pumped about you, huh?
I guess.
They followed up.
They followed up. Yeah, it was a while later. Yeah, so then sat down with them, and yeah, the rest is history, like they say.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So you said no to him in the bar.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, I don't think I should sit down and interview right now. like, this is not a good idea. I mean, if you're at downtown and it's 12:30 or 1 in the morning, you're at Honky Tonk Central.
Not a good time to do it.
Probably not a good time to sit in front of a camera. And, so I didn't do that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Things have changed since then.
Things have changed, yeah. It's crazy, yeah.
For the better?
For the better, yeah.
Good.
Of course, absolutely. Yeah. It's been, a time where I've grown so much in like every aspect of my life, and going through that experience has been incredible and terrible, and like every emotion you can think of I've had. But at the end of the day, it's made me like such a stronger person. It's gotten me where I am right now, and it's helped me with my career. And I mean, it's been great.
So this is kind of a side note, but Shawn and I have oddly been tied to people that have been on the Bachelor and Bachelorette. Played football with Jordan Rogers at Vandy. I don't know if you know Jordan.
I still haven't met him.
You haven't met Jordan?
No.
And then I played football with Colton at the Raiders. So it's kind of weird. I actually have never really talked to any of them about the actual show. So I don't want to dig too deep in the weeds on that because I know you've shared a lot. But,
and I get it too because people, it's an intriguing thing. It's like this cultural phenomenon. Like, you have 25 guys dating one girl, like it's chaos, and it's always interesting to hear the behind the scenes stuff and to see what really goes down. And so I get everybody's fascination with it, and it's crazy because it's been around for 20 something seasons. So it's like whatever they're doing is right, and they still continue to get millions and millions of viewers. It's insane.
That's crazy. You said you didn't watch too much TV before then.
No, not too much. No, I'm always.
Did you watch the show?
I've seen the show, and then my sisters were big fans of the show. So then I started watching the season before I went on, knowing that I was potentially going on the next season. So,
just do some research on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Understand the ins and outs.
Yeah,
that's crazy. That's fun. I can't imagine. I'm not as big a deal, as you are, but I
mean, NFL athlete, not too bad.
You saw me. Right. You saw me in the gym though, dude. Like, literally, I feel like I walked in there. You had such high expectations. Like, all right, Andrew's probably gonna do well.
I love that you came there because I didn't even know you were coming. Yeah, so it was a good surprise. So like, all right, let's kick it up a notch.
Yeah, that was a good time. So you get done with the show.
Yeah,
I feel like LA is the move for a lot of people. No thoughts?
Nah. Yeah, not a big LA guy. I don't mind it. I like going in and going out. Yeah. But when I got done with the show, it was a weird time because I was engaged and I couldn't tell anybody about it. The only people that knew were my immediate family, my 2 sisters and my dad. I think were the only people that knew that I was engaged. Like my best friends. Like, I didn't tell anybody.
Wow.
So, and I kind of did that on purpose, too, because I wanted them to kind of watch and follow along and,
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty cool. But so then there's a few weeks after it's done filming before it airs, and then it airs, and it takes about 12 weeks to finalize. So for about 15 weeks, wasn't working because I lost my job when I went on the show. I was still doing insurance, and I was doing personal training and all that on the side.
They weren't down for you going.
No, they said if I went on the show that I'd lose my job. So
really?
Yeah.
Huh, I wonder if that happens a lot.
Yeah, I don't know. So I was like, all right, I'll take that risk. Like, I remember my dad being like, you can always get an insurance job down the road, right? Like, might as well. You only live once type of deal. So I did it, and then I came back, and then I was training some, but still I couldn't even do that much because I was traveling around, and we had these like secret meetups that we'd be able to go and see each other. Like, they'd set up this secret house out in LA and fly us under different names.
The show would?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So like to give you guys time to meet each other, to get to know each other, because you're engaged now, and then but you can't be seen in public together, obviously, because nobody knows who ends up quote unquote winning. So we'd spend the weekend together. They'd just lock us in a house. They'd be like, they'd have separate drivers, and it'd be a house in LA that's completely secluded, trees fenced in.
Right.
And then there's just your favorite booze and food in the house. I'm just like, all right, have fun for the next 3 days. and then you go back. So then I come back to Nashville, and everybody's like, "What are you doing? Where are you going?" Like, and I couldn't do anything, so I had to wait for like 12 weeks. So I didn't move to LA. I just stayed here with my dog. Just let it play out. Yeah.
From a lifestyle perspective, it doesn't sound like that's, like a balanced lifestyle. Like, it kind of depletes you of community in some senses, right? Like, you're not telling your friends or family about, right?
Yeah. It was a lonely time. Yeah. It was tough because then you're dealing with all and that attention comes like overnight. It's wild. Like, I never would have thought it would have been that big of a deal. And I remember producers being like, make sure, like, just letting you know, like, be prepared. It's going to get crazy. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, it's, people are going to know who you are. There's going to be a lot of stuff in the media. I'm like, nah, it's no big deal. Like, I was kind of, I just didn't think it'd be as big as it was, right? Because I just went onto the show not knowing too much about it or the fascination with it. And then, kind of caught me by surprise and just how interested everybody was. So it was just like crazy tabloids and, it was a very popular season. So like everywhere we went, people were asking questions and it's like, you can't say anything. It's so weird.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah. Yeah.
How did you respond to the instant fame? Well,
yeah, I just, I never really felt like I deserved that attention because I didn't really do anything, right? It's like where you're a professional athlete, you have this incredible skill that most people look up to and want to have, and it's like so rare to be like a professional athlete. For me, it was just like my face was on TV, I had this connection with this girl, and that was it. So I never really felt special. So it was always kind of weird to me. I'm like, why would you want to take your picture with me? Like, I didn't really do anything. I just had this relationship on TV type of thing. So I never really let it get to me. And I just, told myself just to stay, humble and be the person that I am and not make too much of a deal out of it. But
not a lot of people have that perspective.
I know. Yeah. It's, it's weird because I always see that too. Like even in the Bachelor world, I've seen people go in different directions or kind of not get ruined by it, but change because of it. But at the end of the day, it's just like a reality show that was like one season,
Support for today's episode comes from Native. As Shawn and I look to have our first child, we are really looking to buy high-quality products with safe ingredients. And Native is a deodorant formulated without aluminum, parabens, and sulfates. For those of you who don't know, aluminum may be linked to some serious health ramifications, including breast cancer and Alzheimer, and Native's deodorant is a great alternative to conventional deodorants. It's safe and effective, even though it's priced at a slight premium. I view this as totally, completely worth it. They have over 7,000 five-star reviews. You can see them in the Today Show, Women's Health, Elle, Good Morning America, and more. And Native comes in a wide variety of enticing scents for men and women. Plus, they release new limited edition seasonal scents throughout the year. My personal favorite is the coconut and vanilla scent. And let me tell you, I can be a sweaty, smelly guy during my workout, but Native has proven to me that they can hang throughout my workout. They offer free returns on exchanges in the U.S. And if you subscribe, you can save 17%, which is $2 per stick, and Native will be conveniently delivered to your door every 1, 2, 3, or 4 months. I think this is a fantastic product, and I think it's worth giving it a try. If you guys want, you can save 20% off your first purchase if you visit nativedeodorant.com/East and use promo code EAST during checkout. That's 20% off your first purchase if you go to nativedeodorant.com/East. What is the progression? So you're this guy that's working insurance, then you go on the show, and then you get engaged, then you're super famous. What is the progression typically of someone in your position?
As far as like,
what do you do after? How does the fame tail off if it does, or
Yeah. So in my situation, since I ended up with Caitlin, that kind of made it that much bigger, and that 15 minutes of fame or whatever you want to call it kind of lasted a little bit longer because, we're now together as this couple. And then, it was tough trying to figure out what I wanted to do and what I could do, because we were traveling around the States, Canada, doing all these appearances and being pulled in this direction, being pulled in that direction, where it got to the point where I was just like, I need to like do something like, not that I missed working, but I missed like having this purpose of like waking up and doing something every day that I loved. It was just like, all right, we're waking up, we're going to the next city where people are going to treat us like we're some big deal, and we're going to party all night and then get thrown on this plane, and then you're going to go here. And it started getting a little tough for me to do. So I continually wanted to just like focus on my fitness career. And so I was trying to figure out what the best direction for me to go in was. So I did some online stuff, which was tough.
Why was that tough? I feel like that would.
Yeah, it was. I mean, because trying to do online training and that is a little difficult. I like being in person.
Yeah.
And like right now where I am, it's like this is exactly what I want to do, which is cool.
Dude, you're good at it too.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. Would you say that if we weren't recording right now?
No. No. Yeah.
I appreciate that. Yeah, no, because I genuinely enjoy it. So it's just a different experience being in person, right?
Right.
So, and then the whole social media thing, which was a whole other beast, right? That I wasn't used to, and that started picking up right around our season of The Bachelorette. So now it's like you can tell people kind of see this amazing opportunity to go on the show to get all these followers, so they can start promoting crap, right? And for us, I think it was I would say that, we were one of the last seasons that a lot of the people like genuinely went there with like the chance of falling in love or kind of being open to the idea, where now it's just like, I feel like business for a lot of people. And the whole Instagram has changed the whole, I think, way of that show. So I was just starting to like figure that out. And that wasn't like something there wasn't like a ton of opportunities being thrown at me like right out the gates. And that kind of built along the way. But yeah, and then I ended up figuring it out, but the progression was kind of crazy. Trying to figure out who I was and what I was doing and what I wanted to do. Yeah. Because I always knew I didn't want to just be this reality TV guy, and I don't, and I'm so grateful for that. But I've always wanted to be able to do more and actually like help people and feel like I have this purpose, and not just some guy who was on the TV screen.
Right.
Which is like always weird. Like that made me realize this whole weird fascination that the public in general has with just like the quote unquote celebrities, right? It's just so weird to me. Like everybody's in awe of people who are like in movies or athletes or like any reality TV show. But then you meet them and hang out with them, and it's just like you're in that world for a little bit, and it's just like everybody's the same person, right? They just have this crazy job. And then a lot of it's luck for people, not for somebody like you, but athletes is different. But movies, reality TV, a lot of that's, catching your break.
Athletes is a ton of luck too, though.
You think so?
Being in the right spot at the right time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Is. That's how I ended up doing what I'm doing. I was about to quit, and then I got a random phone call and
really
ended up on the.
Yeah, but you got that phone call because of your talent. Like.
Also, yeah, I just feel like a lot, like just like you said, everybody's the same person. It's like, just what career do you choose? Whether it's professional sports, you're just waiting for a break, kind of, or working insurance, you're kind of like maybe you're waiting for a break to get to the next level.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's weird though. And then people are like, "Oh my God!" Like it's just a weird culture we live in.
Yeah.
Just because I'm like, it's like as soon as I was on TV that first night, and it was just like. Phone blowing up, like every person I've ever talked to in my entire life, like sending a message, or like every girl that I've ever talked to, like, hey, like it's just funny how that works, right? I'm like, just because my face was on a TV screen.
Did your friend group change after that?
That's definitely something where it shows you who your true friends are, for sure. Yeah, that's something I learned. Like
that probably sucked. It'd probably be hard.
Yeah, there were some hard friendships probably that I lost, and some ones that I gained, but that's always been tough, like going forward since that. It's like, who really like genuinely cares about you, and it's easy to figure out those people. But yeah, I'm sure the same thing with you guys, right? Yeah. Especially Shawn, like when she went through the Olympics, that must have been chaos for her on a whole other level. Like, I can't imagine that. Like, we're talking about reality TV show. She's on a stage in front of the entire world.
Yeah.
Right? That must have been.
Yeah.
How long have you guys known each other?
So I was after all of that.
Yeah.
I was after all that. We'd known each other for 6 years. So she's done TV shows, which not as public as The Bachelor. She was on The Celebrity Apprentice with Donald Trump.
Oh,
which
nice.
Was,
That's wild. I actually watched like one of those seasons. I thought that was a good show back in the day.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah. It was fun. But I'll say this, then we could talk about your gym. But it is really interesting, the dynamic of like falling in love with the public eye on you.
Yeah.
Again, two very different situations. But like when Shawn and I were dating, there's so many factors that play into it. Of like, there's like this excitement about whether you're into the fame or not. Mm-hmm. There's like this excitement of, I'm meeting all these people and I have all these opportunities and people know who I am and they care for some reason. Mm-hmm. Where like, I mean, you went through all college and you didn't have that fame. Mm-hmm. And so you knew before and after,
right? Which
I think is valuable.
Yeah.
Shawn was like famous since age 12, but so it's like, it's interesting to get her perspective on it too. But like, there is this, there's just a lot of factors that go in to the relationship besides just the feelings, you know what I'm saying? Right. And it makes it complicated.
Yeah.
And so you have to be, I feel like, really intentional to like realize that.